Now then, welcome back you gorgeous lot. Right, today we're going to do something special. We're doing a beef Wellington. That's right. This is not kind of thing what you can, you know, come on a Tuesday night, knock up for kids. It's something what's a special occasion, and we're going to see how it goes. Valentine's Day is coming up soon and Mrs. C is going to get a special treat. Just done a little prosciutto starter on a different video. I'll be popping up very shortly, watch out for that. So that being said, we're going to chill out and get a cook on. Let's go. Right, a few ingredients. A variety of mushrooms. You've got your fillet steak, shallot, garlic, rosemary, parm ram, mustard, salt and pepper, and obviously your pastry. Right then, first things first, we've got a beautiful fillet of beef. I bought the whole fillet for a simple reason. You can use both ends for steaks, etc. But this is the main cut of beef. It's a beautiful, tenderest cut of beef you can buy. It's not the cheapest, but you know, as I said, it's a special dish this. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a red hot pan. And we need to sear this meat, so it really needs to be screaming hot, because we're not cooking it, we're just searing it. So we'll put some coarse pepper down there just for flavour here, right, bit of salt, and all we're going to do, we're just going to coat that little piece of beef in that and let that absorb into it. Beautiful. So we've got a little bit of olive oil in pan. We want to get that so it's really nice and hot. As I said, we don't want the beef sat in there for too long cooking away. Just get my tongs, excuse me. Right then, cookers. That's coming up to temperature, and as you can see, we're just going to bang that beef in. Beautiful. We do really want it just to take that colour on, and what that searing does, like any beef, steak, whatever, it sears it, holds the juices inside as it cooks, and as it rests out it can't get anywhere, so it keeps it really juicy and tender, and that's the desired effect at the moment. That's what we're trying to do. So we're just getting a bit of colour on there. I'm just going to work through this really quickly. As I said, we're not going to cook it because that'll cook within the pastry, within the Wellington itself. And it'll taste bloody gorgeous. That's all it needs. That couple of minutes in pan. There we are. We'll just take that off and just leave it to rest there on the plate. Right, straight away, as you can see, it's still warm, and that's exactly what we want. We want to take some Dijon mustard, take it out in the jar, because if you don't, you're just going to contaminate that full jar. So take it out in the jar. Don't be idle about it, people, I know, and spread it on. And I want to smother it. We are not messing about here. We really want to coat it up. And we turn that, slightly turn, and all the sides, let's bang it on. Because what happens is, as this beef just cools down slightly, it starts getting in and taking all that bit of heat into the beef, and that's exactly what we want. So that's what we're going to do. And we're just going to put that to one side and rest. Beautiful, look at that. Gorgeous that. And if you can see that how coated it is, you know, we're not going daft with it. We really don't tickle it, bang the bugger on, alright. And then we'll put that to one side and we get cleaned up and to stage 2. Right then, cockers, stage 2 of beef Wellington. This is the stage, it's called a duck cell, and all that requires is it's a mushroom kind of paste what you wrap around your meat and it keeps it so moist and flavourful. Now a duxelle is made of mainly mushrooms, but you can add any little herbs you want. My preference, because it's beef, I'm using rosemary, but thyme is very nice as well. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of garlic in, a nice shallot, and if you look at these gorgeous mushrooms what I've got, you can use any mushrooms, but we've got baby portobellos, we've got oysters, we've got, you know, your field mushrooms, and what we're doing, we're going to chop that down so it's really, really fine, and it's going to look like a mountain of mushrooms, believe me. But this is a key thing, we need to sweat it down and get all the moisture out. Right then, as you can see, we're back and we've got things prepared. It does take a bit of time, this, as I said. If you notice about these mushrooms, I've diced them really small, really thin, because when we make the duxelle, what we want to do is reduce it all down and it makes like a paste, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. First of all, we're just going to put a pan on a very low heat. This is a cold pan. This is probably the only time I'll tell you to put it on a low heat, cold pan, because what we don't want to burn these shallots. So we're just going to drop them in with a little bit of olive oil and a knob of butter. And we're just going to knock them about, because we don't want any coloration on these whatsoever. We just want them to go translucent basically. Just turn that up slightly. So yeah, we're just going to get them in. We'll take a bit of time. And as we're doing that, garlic press. If you haven't got a garlic press, just smush some garlic and just crush them really fine. We don't want big old pieces of garlic in there really. So put it in your garlic press, push down, squish, done. I highly recommend buying one of these, the cheapest chips, and it just saves all messing about. You don't even have to take the skin off. Bang it in and push. Beautiful, smell that. Right. Beautiful. And they're just starting to go very translucent. Exactly what you want to do. Right, mushroom. I know it looks like a lot this, but it won't, it will sweat down to nothing. I'm just going to add this, lower your pan temperature. I mean, look at all this, you'll see the difference in a minute. It roughly takes about 10 minutes this to really reduce down. Just get that, and we'll just turn into it a little bit. Right then, we're about roughly 4 or 5 minutes into it and it's just breaking down nice. And what we're going to do now is just add a little bit more seasoning. So first of all, rosemary, or a bit of thyme if you'd like. This is straight out in garden, so we'll bang some rosemary in there. You know, just what gives it a little summer, you know. Little herb, beautiful, fresh. Pinch of pepper. And a bit of salt. And that salt's just going to help it get that rest of that moisture out for you. Right then, there we go. I can see how it's just reduced down to nothing. All that water's gone out, and it's so important to do that, because if you don't get that water out in it, it'll just fall apart. It'll be useless basically. I mean, you've got all garlic in there, rosemary, all them flavours coming through, your mushroom, all your wild mushrooms. That is for winners. That is beautiful, and you can use this on so many different things, not just a beef Wellington. You can have it on a side dish, put it in pork, anything. It's beautiful. It's a really nice kind of stuffing. But what we have to do now, because it is red hot, and it's very important when we build the Wellington, everything needs to be cool. We need to put it on a flat tray. If we put it in a bowl, it just won't cool off, and while it's, you know, steaming and cooling down, it's going to take all that excess moisture from steam away. Now if you put it in a bowl, it's just going to bring it back into itself, and it's going to hold it. So what we do, just get rid of that part of it. If you can see here, we'll just flatten it out, tray. There we go. Flatten it out. and leave that to cool. Beautiful. So we'll just give that 10-15 minutes to cool, and it's time to prepare and make the Wellington. Step 3. I told you it weren't a bloody quick fix, this one. It takes some time, but it's worth it in the end. So I'll see you soon, yet again. Right then, we're back. It's time to start trying to assemble the old welly bob, the Wellington. Right, we're going to get some of this Parmesan. I'm going to start laying this. It is a bit tricky, as so. Slippery little bugger this. Just take piece by piece, and we're overlapping it. Can you see that? We don't want any gaps. Back in the day, I used to use crepes as well as this to wrap your actual Wellington up. But today we're just doing it like, I think it's a little bit lighter if you do it like this, tell you the truth. Too much ingredients can spoil it. So we're just placing it down. I don't know if you can see that properly. And we're just making that beautiful little parcel of joy here. Look at me. Bit of a nightmare this. I've got plastic, I've got bits of... There we go. I'm just going to lay it that way. Cheating a bit, but we're not bothered. We're not fancy around here, old cop. Right, now this is all this, look. It's all cooled down. Absolutely beautiful. Right, so you get your duck cell and you're going to place it all on here. What we're going to try and achieve is a lovely bed where your fillet can sit and get coated all the way around it, and that's the main thing. We get a nice even coating all the way around. Takes a bit of time and prep, but we'll get there in no cock. Excuse fingers, but they are clean. And your tenderloin, what's been resting, which is your fillet steak, by the way. So I don't know if you've had fillet, you can imagine how tender this is going to be. It's bloody gorgeous, man, I tell you. Your gorgeous, gorgeous beef joint, what's been resting there, look. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous, that. Right, and all we're now going to do, it's going to be a bit awkward, but we're going to roll it on itself to wrap it perfectly, hopefully. So we're going to roll that and gently, no pressure at the moment, just bring it to there. And we're just bringing it over. Just bring it over. I think this pancetta ham's just a bit too delicate stuff. Bloody is. Anyway, and we're just gonna roll it over again. Not too much firm, we're just gonna knead it. Bring a bit there, don't we? You can see that, and we're just, oh, there we go. Right, chop that off, bit of excess. Now what we're going to do with that is we're going to form that into a little dish. Nick these edges in. This cling film's a bit small, I apologise. Because we just want it so it's all tucked in nice, coated. So I'll just nip them edges in. You're having a bit of a mare here, lad. We're just going to get it and we're going to squeeze. Because the tighter this is, the better it will be, trust me. We're just going to roll that. Squeeze and roll. And the more you squeeze and roll, see how I'm doing that? There we go. The tighter it'll be. You don't need too tight, it'll bust. But have you seen how that has just come together? There's a bit of leakage there. But come on, I'm not a pro. You know, I'm a dad from Bleeding Yorkshire, man. But that's what we're going to do. We'll put that in fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes to firm up. And then we'll be with your puff pastry. And yet again, another process. So, right then. Now for the puff pastry. It's been in the fridge for about 15 minutes and it is slightly firmed up. All we're going to do is just quickly unwrap the joint. I'm going to gently unfold it. We're just going to put it gently on there, as so. All we've got is shop bought pastry, a puff pastry. It's shop bought because, quite frankly, as I said before, there's a lot of effort in the pastry, and to tell you the truth, it's not for me. So we put it on there, bit of cling film as before, and all we're going to do, as before, curl up your corners like this. I'm going to pull it straight over. Gently. It's very, very delicate, this pastry. And we're just pushing it and we're just using his fingers to put a little bit of pressure on there. No mad. Just till it goes over. And we'll take that excess out here. If you want to use that for a fancy little pattern, we can do. And we'll go to there. Right, and then we'll pull it back as we were, and what we want to do is nip these edges in, because what it is, I want it sealed like a little pasty as such, so none of the juices, anything can get out in there. Really get a twist. Right, and now to form it again, push them edges in. Oh my days, oh look at that, the tragic thing happened, it's ripped. Let's move that out and wait 2 minutes. Sorry about this. You know what I mean? This is the thing about live camera in live. You can have problems. We're not bothered. We just move on. Look at that. How's it going? Go that way. Right? And like I was saying, we just roll that on its head, squeeze, and we're going to roll into there. Excess off. Sharpness at knife. We'll have to buy bigger cling film, man. It's not a joke, this. Right, and we'll just squeeze it in, and as we squeeze it in, we're just turning. I'm making it hard for me son, man. And that's all we're doing. No fancy tricks. And as we go in, look, it's pushing it again. Look, pushing it into a lovely little roll, cylinder shape. And we want it like that because it'll cook evenly. And all we're going to do with that now, yet again, we're going to put it in fridge until we're ready to go. And when we're ready to go, all we're going to do is a little bit of egg yolk, drop of milk, brush over. If you want to do a few fancy patterns on it, you can do. But I'm going to, you know, leave it to what it is. So we'll see you later when we're ready to cook. Plain and simple. Ta-da! And there you go, plain and simple. Well, not that plain and not that simple actually, but beautiful little dish. Must agree, it does take some time, but you know, if you're going to have that special occasion, why not put that time and effort in? Really is delightful, that dish. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next couple of videos. See you later.